Hello, Phil. How are you today?
Long time no see, Angie.
Yes, I know. It's been quite some time.
Are you going to stump the guru again this week?
Yes, we sure are. We got
All right.
a really good question for you this time. Are you ready for it?
Fire away.
Okay, so many sellers want to know, how do I know for sure that this buyer is qualified that has written an offer on my property?
Excellent question. I first have to give the audience a little caveat. I was an executive for a major national company in the mortgage banking business. I learned a lot about mortgage, even though I'm mostly a real estate guy. So there's terms called pre-qual, pre-approved, letters of credit. There's a variety of things. For most consumers, obviously it matters. Even if they're paying cash, you think, well, that's great, but you need proof of cash and you need it in writing. So let's eliminate those. Those could be the investors we saw through the recession, and it could be very wealthy people with private bankers.
Right.
All you need is a letter of credit from their bank, signed by an officer of that bank, that says they are liquid and they can perform and they have sufficient funds to do this transaction. It'll be one or two paragraphs, but it has to be legitimate. Secondly, the other thing you want to do with normal financing is, if you hear somebody is pre-qualified, that's interesting. What does that mean? When you get a pre-qualification, that means they talk to a lender, but you want pre-approved. And what that means is there's formal approval subject to an appraisal on the property only, meaning that the buyer has been very legitimate in supplying that lender tax returns, W-2s, asset information, and they have verified all that information. So they're credit approved now. It's a higher level than pre-qual, and it's subject to only the appraisal of the house. So that's who you want to look for.
Yeah, so you're looking for a pre-approval if the buyer is getting financed, or proof of funds from the bank if it is a cash buyer. And then a couple of other things, if you have not heard of this particular lending institution yet, feel free to Google them. And then also, as the seller, you have the right to request that that buyer get a cross-qualification with a lender that you know and trust. And then that same information that they gave to their lender with the taxes and the credit and all of that gets pulled by a lender that you know and trust. And really what you want is that cross-qualification so that your lender that knows what they're doing, gives you a stamp of approval, and it's good to go. Yeah,
that's a great point, Angie. Sometimes in the industry it's called double apping, and it's really a good way to verify things. Plus, look for the FICO score. They can give you that FICO score, and if you're 700, 740, up towards 800, you probably have a really good candidate. If you've got somebody in the 500 or 600 range trying to buy your house, you probably don't have that sale ready to occur.
Very shaky.
So, good luck, and
thanks, Phil.
Talk to you next week.